Okay, family, we are back again on another solid episode. If you're already here, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to be part of this amazing family. Don't also forget to put on some notification. Yeah, the government of Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has decided to give a befitting reply to France after the resolution passed in the European Parliament, which, condemn the Burkinabè government and lay out so many false claims against the government of Burkina Faso and the people of Burkina Faso. In that same parliament, they distorted the reality on the ground in Burkina Faso. It's been distorted completely. And after this resolution, the government went forward, as I posted, end all relation with France, immediately closing all diplomatic door against France. No more diplomatic door is open for France to come through, And also, something else happened, which involved 8 solid ambassadors went to Burkina Faso, and then they started work operation in Burkina Faso, including the ambassador of Israel, where they presented their credentials to the government of Burkina Faso, which confirmed that Burkina Faso is actually a safe place to be. And that contradicts everything that was said in the Parliament of European Union, where they said the government of Burkina Faso is isolated and all that. You know the story, right? Beautiful. The government had decided to reply perfectly. And so when it comes to disinformation and misinformation, they're also doing everything possible to make sure that, they counter this whole false narrative with the truth on the ground. I watched so many live sessions where Burkinabès went on live, and look, they were explaining the things themselves. In my next video, I'm going to come up with those live sessions. I recorded some of them, the things they were saying about the government. The citizens are also helping in making sure that the false narrative doesn't prevail. Now, Mr. Bozalma Bazi, this Minister of State for Civil Service, Labor, and Social Protection of Burkina Faso, he said a lot of things, about France and the things that they are doing against the Sahel, how they started, how the Sahel, the leaders came in, turned the situation around and all that. He decided to, through the government, with the support of the government, to give them a reply, a befitting reply. But before that, BBC posted something. I don't know how far with the rest of the media houses. They didn't posted the 8 ambassadors that started working in Burkina Faso. They went there to present their credentials. None of them posted that. I haven't seen any of them. If you have seen some, let me know. Quite few of these credible media houses posted some, but those media houses I'm talking about, they never posted it. But as soon as Burkina Faso severed diplomatic tie with France, this is what we came up with. France, also according to BBC, France is urging all nationals in the country to exercise heightening vigilance. They went forward to say that the French Foreign Ministry called the decision of the Burkinabè government to end diplomatic tie with France a hostile and unfounded. And according to them, this decision illustrated the troubling drift by the Burkinabè government. So I quoted this as BBC posted it. I will leave you in the comment section. I know you will do justice to this thing that they posted here. The rest of the things, they are not posting it. But this one particular, they posted it right here. And I don't know why the foreign ministry is giving warning to their citizens, as if their citizens are the only people in the country. As I'm talking to you right now, some French nationals went to Burkina Faso, and guess what? These people, they are doing tourism. They are not even minding the government, what the government is saying. I'm telling you the truth. Now, this a French senator said something about this whole thing. Before we move forward to what our chairman said, the French senator, former senator, this is what he has to say about the decision of the Sahel to chase away France. Watch what he said right here.
Because I think that Mali will pay a very high price for having separated so violently from the French forces that have, after all, ensured the sovereignty of this country for 8 years.
You see? They are going to pay for kicking the French out. Then you ask yourself, is it by force to come and die for us? Is it by force to just come and die for us? They will pay dearly that this man put right here. Is the reason why you are seeing those things happening in Mali and all over the place. So you understand what is going on right now. Now, this is what our chairman have to say about all this whole thing. He decided to go hard, yeah? He spoke French, so I did translation. Let's go.
Indeed, on Thursday, 18th June 2026, the European Union has voted a resolution that depends on painting Burkina Faso dark. This resolution was carried out in an insane manner by the French General Gomart, Is it necessary to remind that these are the same actors in the same European Parliament who carried the humorous resolution, 12th March 2026, demanding, I quote, immediate and unconditional liberation of Mohamed Bazoum, end of quotes. These resolutions to the content of the program of massacre of black people clearly attest to the exits of the generals Mich Michael the Englishman in April 2025 as French the Cointe, former head of state of the French armies. This French general, who said that Europe will have, I quote, Europe will have to return to help restore the states, administrations and development, end of quote. Their compare General Gomar hung on to a reasoning weighing on reverie, deplores the fact that Burkina Faso is isolated from the international community, that the country is suspended from organizations, regional and international, that fundamental freedoms are reduced, that the security situation has worsened, that the territory escapes the control of the state, that populations need humanitarian assistance, that Burkina Faso is descending into chaos. It goes so far as to insinuate that Burkina Faso has become a threat for its neighboring countries, comrades, prime ministers. And when we find that individuals have been procreated, high and trained to do nothing but harm, it is necessary that at a given moment, we dare to return evil by evil so that evil knows that it hurts. So before I proceed, I would like to renew our sincere thanks to the people and their happiness always with decency and the center of dignity and honor, allowing them to understand the struggle for sovereignty at the level of the Confederation of the States of Sahel. As for other leaders, especially Westerners, and in particular those who take the interior of the European Parliament as a place of incestuous action, a place of barbecue and feast with human flesh, showered with overflowing blood from their victims for millennia. Grandsons of today, like their forefathers of yesterday, I remind you of this. For 10 long years, Mali lived in its soul and a total desolation under the infantile gaze and devastating mercenary action of foreign powers, the greatest terrorist threat in its history. International conferences were multiplying, the summits followed one another, foreign military operations were presented as indispensable populations. Sahelians continued to bury their deaths, to flee their village, to see insecurity gain ground. France and its general officer Gomart were at the center of this human disaster. Under paragraphs called G5 Sahel, this France and its general officer Gomart choose to spy on everything and coordinate everything. France, with the complicity of its Western companions, played exactly the same macabre game of 1884 conference. By turning exactly the content of Black Code, it has fully played its role as a predatory country. It is therefore to refuse the continuity of death in the soul, insisting on the continuance of juvenile strength through physical massacres, the disarticulation of our identities, the organized trap of our resources that the comrades, Army Generals Assimi Goïta, Army General Abdurrahman Tiani, and Ibrahim Traoré, President in Office of the Confederation of Sahel States, have made the historic decision on 23 September 2023 in Bamako to create the Alliance of Sahel States. This choice is not directed against any people, but it marks the end of an era where Africa had to wait constantly for its salvation from the outside. The Confederation of the Sahel States was born of this simple conviction that no one will come to defend our land, our families and dignity better than ourselves. Since the Western occupying armies have been chased away, the young leaders who took power in these three countries have reorganized the defense systems and strengthened the national armies. Today, significant progress has been made. Indeed, the capacity of nuisance of the terrorists has been considerably reduced. A large part of the territories was recovered. The populations have been resettled in several localities. The spirit of fear and resignation gave way to the spirit of resistance and reconquest. The peoples of Sahel have stopped waiting for their salvation from others. Burkina Faso, like other sister countries, maintain diplomatic relations with many states and develop meaningful and productive partnerships that have nothing to do with the lost decades with France. It is also the proof patent that the world is not limited to Paris, Brussels and Washington. General Gomart and his companions who could have revived it, remember that Burkina Faso does not claim any privileges. There is only that which is due to any free people. The right to choose alliances, its political orientations, and its development model. Current and future African generations in general do not call for confrontation with the rest of the world. They require the pure and simple respect for its political choices, cultural and security economics. They do not command charity, but demand without complacency the dignity. They do not refuse cooperation, but formally rejects domination. History may remember that the sovereign awakening of the Sahel was the symbol of a decided Africa to regain control of its destiny. The peoples of the Confederation of Sahel States decided to walk upright and will no longer accept in the manner assumed to return to the knees of Western leaders, symbolized by Le Queens. To France and its companions, feel free to continue to manipulate and misinformation. Africa sees you ready to go back down as in the years of the slave trade, to replace the substitutes of your armies, called terrorists, losing momentum in the Sahel, but the new generations of Africans in solidarity with the other peoples of the world, in love with dignity, of honor, of justice, of social progress and peace await you. That's why I condemn the scenes of desolation observed in South Africa that dishonor the peoples of Africa dirty. With all African solidarity brought to this sister country during the dark moments in the grief of apartheid, we address our deep compassion to all bruised nationals, because Africa needs solidarity between his sons and daughters and all over the world. Comrade Prime Minister, it's no longer time for waiting, but to the strengthening of the organization. Unity is the action of black people all over the world, in solidarity with any people who love human values, because it is by combining our efforts, we will demonstrate that our youth is not only the future of the Confederation, it is already the engine. Long live the Confederation of the Alliance of the Sahel States. Long live the fraternal cooperation between our peoples that God, element of our ancestors, accompanies us. The fatherland or the death will overcome. I thank you.
That's right. That's right. Clean right there. I don't know the reason why it is difficult for France to move on. I can't understand. I said it in my previous video that things between France and the Sahel shouldn't have gotten to this level. France could have used the diplomatic door, which was still available, for them to change their relationship. Because the relationship was like master and servant, right? But now we want partnership. We don't want master and servant relationship. Then what do? You come as a partner. But the problem with France is that they still want to control the country as master and servant. That relationship can no longer move forward this time. And when they are resisting, then they are pushing back with all the propaganda, the narrative and all that. I mean, family, let us not wait too much time. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. See you in the next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, put us on notification. Respect.